No mai, hada mai, hello and welcome. Monday Night Hoops in the NZNBL, and it is a southern stoush. The Sharks, they've lost their last three at home. The Nuggets have lost their last two games. Two teams desperate for a win in the NZNBL tonight. Can't wait. ILT Stadium, Southland, and in Otago. Justin Nelson with you, sitting right alongside me, Casey Frank. And when these two come to play, look out.
Always a little bit extra in it, so you can get the title of best team in the Deep South. Of course, the Southland hosting just a little bit deeper south than the last time these two teams met, which was a Dunedin victory, an Otago Nuggets victory, 76-68 in a low-scoring affair.
Here's the ladder as it stands at the moment. This is the last game of round 9, and let's move all the way down to 7th place on the ladder. The Sharks, 2 games in hand on the Hawks. This is such an important one for them, not only to start moving up, but they need to find some form at the Shark Tank.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a struggle in their home court, and nothing like a little bit of friendly geography to try and get you ready to get up and get into a new state of mind. They've got a revamped team, bringing in Josh Cunningham, so they would be expected to pick up that slack just a bit.
Let's have a look at the games ahead in the competition. Round 10, not too far away. In fact, just 72 hours, believe it or not. The Jets and the Nuggets on Thursday night at Fly Palmy. The Nuggets on the road with the double, so they've got a very busy week coming up. Sharks and the Airs play on Saturday. Other games in round 10, Hawks and Bulls, Giants and Rams. And how about this, next Sunday night, Tuatara and the Bulls.
That's going to be a good one. The Battle of Auckland is going to possibly decide who's in that top 4 seeding come the end of the season.
Nugget starters for this one tonight. They do have a big out. Ja'Cory McLaughlin has not made the trip. He's missing his 2nd game in a row. Darcy Knox gets the start. Coleman Harris, Withers and Timmins alongside him. Brent Matahari is the coach. Here's his thoughts.
Hey Brent, welcome to Invercargill. Now, no Ja'Cory McLaughlin, so tell us a little bit about where he's at and what that means for you tonight.
Yeah, obviously not here with us this evening. Didn't make the road trip, so he's got a bit of a knee injury. Just waiting on that to clear up, and then he'll be back on the floor. So, yeah, we're going with Darcy starting, so great opportunity for him in his 2nd start for this season.
Nice, mate. Now, of course, you blokes jumped out of the blocks, cooled off a little, so tell us a little bit about what you're looking for from your team to rest back a little bit more momentum into your campaign tonight.
Yeah, I think you've seen around the league a lot of teams trying to get to that identity. Obviously a few games last night where guys coming out and really working hard on defence, and that was our identity early, and we've got to get back to it. So, looking for the challenge tonight against the Sharks. There's plenty of shooters on the floor, so guys might be a little tired chasing them.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, I love the optimism as a coach, Casey, when they're waiting for a knee injury just to clear up.
Well, you normally know that they were confident that he might be able to play today. They waited on his late fitness check, unfortunately not able to do it. So still just right around the corner, I think.
Inga Anticevic, Burton Kendall, normal starters. Josh Cunningham, welcome back. 15 points and 8 rebounds a game in season 2021 with the Sharks. Welcome inclusion. And
a good solid post presence, a guy who doesn't turn the ball over, will understand his role in the offense, and certainly gives him a more consistent defensive presence down there outside of the shot blocking than what they had with Merle Gill.
Coach is Guy Malloy. Let's catch up with him now.
Well, Guy, big night obviously for the Sharks. You welcome back Josh Cunningham into the mix. Tell us how he's settled in this week and what you're expecting from him tonight.
Well, look, he's an outstanding basketball player, and some ways fortuitous. We've had a longer break, a couple more days to work him in a little bit. So, look, early stages, but we hope he has a fairly immediate impact.
Long way to go, but a pretty important game, right? Especially here at home after you dropped the last few in a row. I mean, this is an important night for your squad.
Yeah, I can't really explain some fairly insipid sort of performances at home, so we certainly have to have a great energy tonight. I think start the game well defensively. We've been on the back foot. I know last week when we played, the other team got hot really early, and I think that we kind of dropped our heads a bit, so we need to be resilient through the game.
Wish you well, mate. Go well.
Thank you.
Casey, let's have a look at the stats with thanks to TAB. And Turnover margin's a big one for me. The Nuggets look after the ball. On the other hand, the Sharks need to look after the pill a little bit better.
Well, the Nuggets are first in turnover percentage, only averaging 13% of their possessions ending in turnover, and first in steal percentage. The Sharks, on the other hand, they are 8th in turnover percentage and 9th in steal percentage. That is not a great combo. They cannot create extra possessions. The Nuggets do. The Sharks have to take care of the basketball and find a way to produce extra opportunities against this stout Otago Nuggets defense.
And not too much separates these teams on the glass either. All the stats, of course, in the Cells NBL with thanks to the TAB, our coin officials for tonight's game, the Southern Stoush. With the whistle, Marty Davidson, Hamish Dale and Regan Ashley. Good crowd in attendance at ILT Stadium, Southland, for some Monday night hoops.
Nothing like some Monday night hoops. Let's get it on the schedule. Can the King have a birthday every week?
Why not? He's the King.
He's the King. Good to be the King. Good to be the King.
What are your thoughts on this one? Because both teams needing to find some form. I mean, it was a 7-zip start to the season by this team in baby blue. The Nuggets, the reigning champs, have lost their last two at home. A thriller last week to the Hawks going down by 1. The Sharks just have not been able to consistently find form all season.
I think the Sharks have done well when they've out-talented teams. When they're supposed to win a game, they've been winning games. They do struggle, however, with some of the top-end teams in terms of talent, which may be a boon today, hosting the Nuggets on their home court. Don't have their starting point guard in Ja'Cory McLaughlin. Don't have Ty Webster yet, who is signed with the team but is not available as of yet. So 2 of their presumed starters not available. Excellent opportunity for them to find the right foot and for some of this bench mob to come in and really contribute. The Nuggets, on the other hand, struggling at home. Early in the season, had that defensive rating under 100. It's crept up to 101.6. Still the best in the competition, but not at the level it can be for a team that's got championship aspirations and looking to right the ship before that home stretch to the final 6.
Results so far in round 9. Saints home by 8 over the Giants. The Rams got the Hawks by 15. The Tuatara beat the Jets by 14. Saints got the Airs. That was a thriller of a finish there. They moved away late to win by 19. And then last night, the Bulls took down the Jets by 15 at the Stockyard. And gee, the Bulls are on the move at the moment. You saw that game.
They're playing well. It's tough defensively. They found some shooting. Jared Wilson frame, excellent that fourth quarter. Isaac Davidson with 6 straight points late, and sharing the ball well is a good thing to do when you've got a defense like that.
Just about set for a start here at ILT Stadium, Southland tonight. Great to see young fan bringing the ball out, the Molten, handing it on to Marty Davidson. The handshake there, ignored Sammy.
Iced him, iced the Nugs. I love it. Give it to him, Southland.
The Southern Stoush has already started, not just the players, but the young fans giving the Nuggets nothing. Timmins and Cunningham, we are underway as Timmins knocks it back, and a violation on the jump. We've seen this a few times this season where the players go early.
Yeah, it looked to me like he got that pretty close to its peak, but apparently not. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Might as well just start giving the ball to, let's flip a coin. Because if we're just going to choose against it, let's just get it going. Can we get the ball in bounds and start playing some hoops?
Oh, you'll upset some people if you want an arrow to start the game.
Flip a coin, maybe, you know, make it a game of chance.
I'd love to see the jump balls come back in.
I prefer the jump ball to the change of possession, no doubt about it.
There's Anticevic going to work early on Robbie Coleman, pulled up for the double dribble, and that is turnover number 1.
Well, turnover number 1 coming off a game against the Nuggets first time out where they did struggle. And when they started turning over the ball late in the second half is when the Nuggets made that run to take control of the game.
Here's Michael Harris, has been in good touch. It just opens up for him. Can't drop the shot though. Should have put that one away. Found his way all the way to the rack. Alonzo Burton makes no mistake. Back the other way though. Opening points for the Sharks.
Well, you love to see that if you're a Sharks fan. Alonzo Burton with an early touch, finding the range and stretching that defense.
Just under 12 points a game. Look at that. Todd Withers, if you don't mind, sliding across the floorboards, nails the shot. What a response.
You know, there's something about Todd Withers when he starts off like this. When he comes out, gets an early touch, hits it, gets a foul, something like that. I've seen it a few times, and it seems to just inspire something within him to really hunt that offense early. Good finish, takes the contact, the chance for the 4-point play for the TAB.
Number 2 in the league for 3-pointers made per game. He does convert Going at 3.9 from downtown per game, shooting at over 43% from distance, Todd Withers this season. A part of his game that has really improved. Inga coming off a huge game last week against the Hawks.
Right, a really good look at it. Had it lined up, just couldn't find the measure.
Harris now deep on the shot. Burton with the rebound. Braden Inga, 6 of 8 from behind the arc last week. 30-point haul for him in that loss to the Hawks.
Interesting Withers on Kendall in this matchup. Going to be really tough for Kendall to find space.
Cunningham, his first real touch of the game, takes it down low on Timmins, steps away. Deep 2 is good.
And if he's going to hit that mid-range, it's going to change the way that Sam Timmins is going to have to guard him. He's going to have to be up and in, opening up possibilities for the dribble drive. Positive
start for Josh Cunningham. Well, the pass was intended for Robbie Coleman, who stopped on his cut through the key. Gave it up to the Sharks. Here's Inga, deep 2 from the corner.
Well, he couldn't find it from the deep corner. From 3, takes a step in, finds the range. Nice job settling himself into the game.
Good early baskets for the Sharks here. Southern Stoush underway. Withers has it knocked out of his hands. Ends up with Harris. Big shot is short.
Well, they're really trying to force the passes on the interior and then settling for these jump shots outside. They need to do a little bit of both. Continue to penetrate, but try and create some offense inside the arc. Right now, the separation just isn't occurring on the perimeter, and they're shooting these contested shots, which aren't finding the net.
Here's Alonzo Burton. He's already opened up his scoring tonight. Cunningham had Kendall for a moment, and now foul is committed. Todd Withers called for the push. He was the one that ended up on the floor.
I didn't see the angle from here. It looked like he might have just gotten tripped. Take another look at the handoff. Comes off one way, comes back the other.
Well, why's the foul on Todd Withers for that?
I think Matt possibly with that left hand, but not a lot of action in it. One I would have liked to have seen let go.
Here's Kendall. Burton steps around Coleman, creating some space. Little floater over the top of Jack Andrew is good. Jack Andrew into the game early as well, Casey.
Well, you're going to have to change the lineups just a little bit, and that's one thing that Brent Matahata has toyed with at times, going big in these lineups with Sam Timmins and Jack Andrew inside. And you'd like to see what we've seen from Zoe Burton early, shooting it from deep, finding that mid-range as well. Sharks making themselves threatening offensively early, and this is one of the this is the most efficient team in the league. They shoot at a high percentage. They get it done really well with great efficiency.
Nice start tonight at the Shark Tank. Timmins, nice hesitation, step through underneath on the reverse. So the twin towers of Timmins and Jack Andrew working alongside each other. And Tisovic fires away. I think the cannons went off a little bit too early then.
Never want to be premature on the cannon shot.
Maybe they'll get another opportunity here. They will, right on cue. And Tisovic with the 3.
Well, possibly they knew it was coming eventually. Doubling up the Nuggets early, who cannot find the measure offensively, and they're now starting to peel back defensively as well.
Apologies to the Nuggets coaching staff. Jack Andrew did start tonight, by the way. That's why he's out there. Todd Withers. Oh, 2 triples early in the game for Todd Withers. You look as surprised. No, he didn't.
No, you're just talking things. Coleman started with Harris and Darcy Knox. Are you trying to trick me, Justin?
I think I was trying to take you down the garden path. Alonzo Burton, he's not skipping down the garden path tonight. He has started on fire.
Oh, he's getting great looks, and he doesn't have to put the ball on the floor from the perimeter. When he does that, he can get his eye in. And Sam Timmins just chucks it up. No offensive options for the Nuggets, who are just not running offensive very crisply.
And just confirming, Robbie Coleman only seeing 2.5 minutes of action before heading to the bench tonight. 15-9 start. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay or not? As Darcy Knox takes a seat, Matthew Bardsley comes in. He's got an important role to play tonight.
And I probably like this lineup a little bit better. He offers them a bit more defensive versatility, some size, some rebounding, and a bit of toughness on that interior, and the ability to guard the outside.
Well, Michael Harris, everyone left him alone in the end.
And that's why. He is not off to a great start. Not finding the range. Michael Harris is getting the shots up, but this Nuggets team right now, not making the extra pass and not bending the defense before taking their opportunities. Michael Harris 0 for 3.
Here's Cunningham. Again, given some space, just puts it in over the top of Timmins. So this isn't just a good start by the Sharks. This is a really good start tonight.
Not a lot of resistance from the Nuggets combined with a lack of execution. They're digging themselves a big hole.
Withers has already hit 2. Make that 3 from downtown. Todd Withers is lighting it up for the Nuggets tonight.
Well, already in double figures. 10 points for him now, the sole savior of this offense for the Nugs.
Here's Kendall. Anticevic steps around Andrew into the corner. Burton for another one.
I don't know what it is about Zoe Burton. When he gets hot, he becomes invisible to defenses despite the orange jersey. He is just not being found, and he is dropping them from all over the court. 11 points for him.
I keep thinking about that opening game last season, Casey, when he hit 8 triples. And he is a sight for sore eyes at the moment for this Sharks family that have turned up in nice numbers tonight. Jeremy Kendall, how about a 3 to start the game tonight here at ILT Stadium Southland? It is raining triples.
5 for 7 now for the Sharks. No, wow. We can't find the ball in transition. He gets that wide open look. Harris finally attacks the cup.
And good to go. Foul on Josh Cunningham. So Harris will take a trip to the TAB stripe. Sharks out to a 9-point lead. How about some of these TAB stats?
Man, they are shooting 81% from the field, 9 for 11 overall. Haven't missed inside the arc. They've got 6 rebounds and 5 assists on those 9 buckets. You'll love to see the way they are sharing the basketball. Early in this one, the Nuggets have not gotten them uncomfortable. Southland, more than anything, that's what I'm noticing with right now. They're in their rhythm, looking comfortable, getting to their spots, and forcing the Nuggets to adjust to them, not the other way around.
Big heat check, both ends of the court. Alonzo Burton, 3 of 3 from long range. Todd Withers, the same for the Nuggets, 3 of 3 without a miss. Here's Anticevic, banging bodies. Harris, also Timmins helping out. Too good in the end, Grant Anticevic.
Well, bad gamble there by Harris. Just needed to stay solid in front of him. He had perfect health and overcommits and opens the door.
Back the other way, Harris responds.
Speaking about an open door, it swung open with a burst off that handoff. Really like the way he changed directions and got north-south quickly enough to put the defense on its back.
Johnny Hilu into the action, so too Alex Pledger. Comes out here to put a body and open things up, hopefully for Kendall. Foul reaching in, Darcy Knox.
You just got to stay so connected to Jeremy Kendall, because if he takes that little rhythm dribble and he takes a step back, if you don't close it, he's going to pull up for that triple. He's going to have those passing angles. Darcy Knox tries to close the space, and that's when Kendall attacks, gets him on his hip, and forces the whistle to be blown.
Here's Alex Pledger. Just hands it off to Jeremy Kendall, easy as you like.
Well, beautiful pass. I mean, that's really difficult to execute with that kind of pinpoint precision. And well done by Alex Pledger. And a nice read by Jeremy Kendall with Withers guarding him.
Sharks by 10. First miss for Todd Withers.
And the three-point line not being too kind. 3 for 8 are the Nugs now.
Here's Pledger. Oh, sweet stuff from the Chief.
Well, this is an offensive clinic right now. They're just getting every look they want. They're not being forced to put the ball on the floor at any point in time.
29 points in 7 minutes for the Sharks. Brent Matahata, you can see him pacing the sideline here, about to bring Robbie Coleman back into the game.
Just committed their 3rd turnover. And it seems like it's more than that. They have really tried to thread that needle a little bit too tightly on some of these interior passes. And they need to make the defense commit to the interior and find those easy looks on the perimeter, because right now the Sharks are really packing it in.
Coach Malloy did say in the pre-game that they've had a fair gap between games. Been doing a lot of work. They know their season is on the line. Oh, how about selling the candy, Jeremy Kendall?
He's so good as a distributor. You have to respect that pass, but when he's in there, he's got the mind to think of the score. He did everything but get the bucket.
Aitchison, corner, Knox, 3-ball. They need that, won't drop.
Better offense though. The ball touches different hands, forces the defense to adjust and get a wide open look that doesn't drop, unfortunately, for Nugs fans.
Kendall again, hesitation, open space. Hilu in the corner, in and out.
That was a really nice move, but Right now, I'm seeing a lack of effort defensively by the Nuggets more than anything else. That's an easy drive and no reaction to the penetration of Kendall.
Sharks have got 3 changes coming inside the last 2 minutes of this opening quarter. Here's Sam Timmins and Pledger. Pledger, terrific defense, gets the applause from the crowd. Withers for 3, halfway down.
Well, nice job by Pledger to stay down on his feet. Timmins couldn't disrupt him and ends up in a very toughly contested shot for Withers.
Here's Kendall showing some magic and nearly adds another basket. He wanted it to count.
Yeah, I think that could have been offensive goaltending on Ben Hall, not actually touched by the Nugs.
Withers, Coleman took out Jeremy Kendall. No whistle on that.
Some great looks there. Wide open is Withers, who's cooled down from a hot start. Now 3 for 5 from the field.
Hillu showing that speed off the wing is fouled by Josh Aitchison.
You love what you see from the Southland Sharks offensively. 29 points here in the first quarter with a minute to go. That's the kind of efficiency that they can play with. The question I have is, what are they going to do when they cool down a little bit from deep? Because right now they are 12 for 16 from the field, 5 for 8 from deep, and 7 from 8 from inside the arc. They're not going to shoot like that all night long. So they have to continue to build this lead and keep the Nuggets at bay, because at some point when they cool down, the Nuggets will be coming for them.
Well, they win tonight, the Sharks. They level up with the Hawks on wins. They've got a game in hand, but importantly, the Hawks, I'm fairly sure, have head-to-head. Great setup there for the Sharks. Tom Cowie into the action. Josh Cunningham battling hard underneath. He's rewarded with a trip to the TAB line.
I love the movement offensively, really getting the defense to commit to multiple directions. Jack Andrew really had to struggle to crash out and contest that shot. And when it was Jack Andrew forced to help, that left Cunningham on the interior without a lot of size to combat his efforts. He outworks the Nuggets, gets himself 2 from the TAB, and hits the first to stretch it out to a 13-point lead.
Already making his presence felt, Josh Cunningham, 5 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Of course, in 2021, 14.6 points a game, 8.2 rebounds. He was a pivotal part of that team that went to the Final Four, as it was in 2021 when they bowed out in the semi-finals. Off hands, oh, well kept in. Sharks up and about here. Hillu showing some great tenacity. Here he is now receiving, and he may get himself to the basket. In the end, Cowie on the drive, gets a rebound, goes up, fouled, and he's off to the TAB line. In fact, it's Ben Hall. Terrific work.
They are attacking the offensive glass right now. You love to see that kind of effort. This is a team that was held to 4 offensive rebounds the first time these two teams meet, and didn't score more than 24 points in the quarter. Well, what a difference about 6 weeks makes, because they are on fire and they are controlling every aspect of the floor, doubling up the Nuggets in the first quarter.
We've seen some real growth from Ben Hall this season, given the opportunity under Coach Guy Malloy at the Sharks. He's one of these players that can really be damaging off the bench.
He's been very solid in spurts. His ability as a shooter has certainly helped them stretch defenses, and he's got some multi-positional versatility as a defender as well, because he's a bigger guard, so has that ability to go up to the 3 as well.
And look at this for an opening quarter now. Harris trying to get 2 back. Took too many on in the end, and here come the Sharks again on the move. Cunningham quickly up the floor. Hall.
And look how much energy the Sharks have offensively. That ball's going through hands. They're forcing defenders to move around. We just don't see that same energy on the court for the Nuggets in the offensive end.
Hall on the turnaround, slapped away by Jack Andrew right on the buzzer, and that'll do us. A 34-17 start by the Sharks tonight. Sal's NBL action, Monday Night Hoops. Searching for their first home win in 4. The Sharks off to a hot start. They lead by 17 back after the break. Welcome back to the Deep South tonight. The Southern Stoush made a little bit better by free mozzarella sticks. The Cells Super Special. Pick up only. There's the online code CHARGE. Valid until next Wednesday. And speaking of charging, how about the Southland Sharks tonight leading by 17 after the opening quarter?
They have come out the gates pushing that pace really nicely, finding some great efficiency from deep, and that's really the story of this one right now.
Is that their biggest quarter of the season? Got to be up there.
It's quite possible. Why are you putting that pressure on me, Justin?
Because I haven't looked. We're quickly searching now. Here's Harris. Deep three to get the Nuggets underway. Speaking of stats, with thanks to TAB, controlled by the Sharks in that opening quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, the way they were shooting that basketball, and look at the pace with which they're playing offensive. Look how much they're bending this defense of the Nuggets. They've got them completely flummoxed.
Cowie to Hall. They add another two. Holes everywhere. It's like Swiss cheese out there at the moment for the Nuggets.
And they're not Sharks, they're mice nibbling away.
Harris gets one to go. Desperately needing that response, the Otago Nuggets. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay, keeping the dribble alive, and in the end, Cowie with some contact off the glass for Harris.
Well, just finding much better rate of success when they're attacking the rim, putting pressure on the defense. I'd still like to see that basketball go side to side, bend the defense of the Sharks a little bit more, make them work, because they're not a great defensive team. To be held to 17 points in the first quarter for a team with a defensive rating of 120 is just not good enough execution from the Nuggets.
No Ja'Cory McLaughlin tonight for the Nuggets, still out with a knee injury. Ty Webster announced during the week, incoming, good inclusion. Still not in the country yet. Hilu met the tall timber, and the biggest of that tall timber was Sam Timmins. Knocks it over the baseline. Sharks ball.
We're leaving 3 seconds on the shot clock. And it's been confirmed by Isaiah Smiler in production that 34 points is the highest score of the season, as we've missed a bucket. And that's up to 38 now.
Here's Harris on the move. Good defense. Josh Cunningham off the foot of big Sam Timmins. And they're big canoes at that as well. And that's going to be a Sharks ball.
Well, tipped it himself. He's trying to complain about some contact on him, but the aggressiveness of the Sharks consistently being rewarded, and why not? They are taking it to the Nuggets in this one.
And just confirming that opening quarter, 34 points by the Sharks, their best of the season. Here's Withers, gets up and puts it down. Well, he's the man, Casey, that can get them motoring very, very quickly. He's got 12 in the game now.
Responsible for all the offense right now. Coach Brett Matahade very thankful for his presence, more than half the offense.
Cowie bumping bodies with Matthew Bardsley.
And this Nugget, oh, we've seen some words in there.
Josh Cunningham, welcome back to the Cells NBL.
Is that Cunningham and Withers? Seems like it may be, as we see these guys coming through there. There's the trip. And is that something that's going to inspire this Nuggets to a higher level of effort and aggression? Right now they are on the back foot, left, right, and center. 16 points, the deficit, 8 minutes to go. They need to find a way to influence this game on the defensive side of the thing.
Well, it wouldn't be a Southern Stoush without a little bit of biff and barge. That's okay.
You wonder if maybe the Sharks didn't take a look at the film from the last game when Coach Brett Matahade was passing that trophy in the background of Jeremy Kendall's interview and giving hugs to his players.
I was wondering whether you
smiling at the camera.
I was wondering whether you were going to bring that up tonight, Casey, and right on cue you have.
Well, this looks like this is an inspired team here, the Sharks. This is the best we've seen them play in quite some time against a quality team.
Bardsley, nice little move from the slippery eel. You might have to explain for our viewers who may not have seen that game a little bit deeper on what you're alluding to, because it came after the game, didn't it, as Kendall pulls up?
We'll save it for a free throw. We'll keep them on their edge right now as Todd Withers starts the break and Sam Timmins gets the ball inside.
Here he is, slamming Sam. Can he get going for the Nuggets? Did all the hard work there.
He goes away from the basket, needs to go back towards it, stop fading away, bring the action in, get to the free throw line.
Margin back to 16. It was 17 at quarter time. Kendall again, so good on that step back, one way then the other. Burton from range, back of the iron. Kendall keeps it alive. 9.5 assists a game. Here's Inga driving in off the wing and put in to the back row by Sam Timmins. Nice work, big slam and Sam.
A little energy, a little enthusiasm from the Nuggets out there, forcing multiple changes of direction on the ball handlers of the Sharks and getting that weak side help over in time to affect shots. A vastly different picture from the first 12, 13 minutes of the ball game.
Just wonder if those words about a minute and a half ago, as you said, Casey, may have just added some spark, although they won't like that, the Nuggets, too easy.
Well, there's been a few too many of those backdoor cuts where there just has not been an attention to detail, bumping those cutters off and giving up some easy looks.
Harris stepping back. That shot is well short. And what's the stats at the moment on Michael Harris?
It is not good from deep. I'll tell you that, Ryan. Michael Harris is 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, 3 for 6 from inside of it. So maybe tap him on the shoulder there, Coach Matahara, and say, you want to put the ball on the deck? Or maybe find an open look before you go for the heat check?
3 of 11 all over. Timmins slaps the arm of Alex Pledger. You could hear that in the microphones.
I got a quick little break. Well, there's a trophy that's passed back and forth.
Oh, back to the story. Here we go.
Back to the story. The Sharks and the Nuggets, they play for a trophy. The winner of the last round gets it. The name of it escapes me at the moment, so apologies there. But in the last round, after the Nuggets won it on their home court, Jeremy Kendall was doing his post-game interview. He gets the ball here and puts on a bevy of moves. And as he was doing the interview, there was just the passing of the back and forth of the trophy behind, as we see an end one for Grant Anticevich. And a big smiles as that was happening between Coach Brett Matahara and Big Sam Timmins. So always good to have a little extra to put in your ammunition belt to get at something. Timeout
called by the Nuggets. Anticevich, when we resume, will be off to the TAB line for the bonus shot. 44-24, 20-point margin. Casey Frank, 4-time Sal's NBL champion. Of course, a former Tall Black, star player across New Zealand, Australia, and other parts of the world. What have you made of the opening 14 minutes of this game?
Well, we see two different teams, motivated one and one that's not quite locked in right now. Certainly, the Otago Nuggets are missing Ja'Cory McLaughlin. He means so much to the offense, not just as a scorer, but he is 4th in the league in assist percentage. He really does a nice job of finding his teammates, and that's what I'm seeing for the Nuggets right now. They've got nobody out there to facilitate, to get guys in spots and be where they want to be. The antithesis of that is the Sharks. Jeremy Kendall is running this offense to perfection once again. The movement without the basketball has been precise and purposeful. There's no cuts for no reasons, and Josh Cunningham has really come in here and solidified that interior, allowed Grant Anticevich to go to his more natural power forward position. And he's had the strength, as has Cunningham, to keep Timmins, to keep Withers, to keep Coleman and Andrews off the glass, control the glass up to this point, and with combining that with some good use of taking care of the basketball in the turnover game, that's what that has them this lead.
20-7 the rebound count.
I mean, there it is. It's all about the glass. 0 offensive rebounds for the Nuggets. If you have 7 rebounds against a team that's missed 13 shots when you've also missed 14 yourself, or you are not working hard enough. That is all effort. Hey, there's number 8. Good job.
Sharks already have 20 rebounds, 10 assists, shooting at 56%. It's been their hottest patch of form for mine so far this season. Electric start by the team in orange tonight. Timmins finds Bardsley. Saw Pledger in front of him and probably lucky to get away with it in the end. Alex Pledger called for the foul.
I think that's a good call. A lot of contact by Pledger. Bardsley, I think, was in a bit of trouble. Didn't really know how he was going to contend with the length of Alex Pledger, but gets the ball to the left hand before he flips it up. And Alex Pledger following through there. That's the contact that sends Bardsley to the line. And with 6 minutes left, they have to do some work on this 20-point deficit. If they don't have this down to around 12 points at halftime, I would be extremely concerned if I were a Nuggets fan.
Bardsley's had an increased role this season. One area of his game that Needs a little bit of work. He's from the TAB line, going at 43% this season. Splits the pair there. Reduces that margin by 1. Still a long way to go for the Baby Blues. Here's Kendall.
He just got largely so turned up there. Had him overcommit to the screen and then change directions on him. No resistance at the rim by Knox. 7
points, 5 assists already for Jeremy Kendall.
I really like that job Ingers starting to do on Withers, not giving him a lot of airspace.
Timmins again battling hard with Pledger. This time Timmins wins out.
Well, see the difference between that postman and the last. He up faked and then went to the basket instead of faded away. Finished much more strongly because of it.
Anticevic. It's been busy. Size mismatch here. Inside, outside ball. Inga deep. Anticevic right there. Off whose hand? Sharks ball.
Oh, Darcy Knox not ready for that one. Good effort by Timmins to come out of his zone and try and get a hand on it, but the effort does not get you possession. They got to finish that play off, and Darcy Knox unexpectedly sees it go through his hands.
Leading scorers in this one. Burton has 11 for the Sharks. Withers with 12 for the Nuggets. Here's Inga. Speaking of Burton, opens up for him, flicks it out to the corner. Anticevic, one step inside, can't finish.
Well, nice drive by Burton and a decent recovery defensively as a very late call there. As Michael Harris. I don't know if anybody is better in the league at letting the refs know that he got fouled than Michael Harris. He looks like he gets absolutely sniped when he gives the body convulsions.
Well, he took about 3 goose steps then when he was struck across the face. No doubt that he was hit.
Yeah, looking like he got poked in the eye, possibly. You know, see the blink there. So, but it's not that he didn't get fouled. It's that he definitely sells it with the accentuation on that body movement.
A little bit surprised to hear prior to the game, Timmins to Harris, turnaround on Burton is good. A little bit surprised to hear before the game, Casey. Timeout here. Sharks are going to have a chat. Guy Malloy has seen back-to-back baskets. He wants to have a chat. Ja'Cory McLaughlin, if we listen to what Brett Matahardy said in the pre-game, actually hasn't travelled down with the team. Knee injury, would you not travel?
Well, from my understanding, they made the decision yesterday. So they looked into it, and he was going to find out about 2 p.m. That's when his fitness test was going to be. Because, you know, I mean, look, you know your knee. If it's not at the point where you can play the day before you travel, well, 3 hours in a bus isn't going to help it.
Okay.
You know? So if you know your body, you know if you can make it or you can't make it. And if they decide to make the decision the day before, that's when you make the decision.
Well, we know what he's doing right now.
Listen to us pontificate on what maybe he should or should not do.
Sharks, Guy Malloy, he'll be very, very happy with what he's seen from his Chargers so far in this one tonight. They have come out with a real burst of energy.
A great burst, but the offensive efficiency is slowly starting to taper off. We're seeing a few more missed shots. They were up at 80% at one point. They dropped down to 54 overall and 45 on the threes. Still doing a nice job taking care of the basketball. Just 2 turnovers. And because they've done such a good job taking care of the basketball, they've got 8 more shots than the Nuggets right now between that and the board work. That's where they're winning this game. In the possession game, they need to keep that shot advantage as this game moves along.
34-17 opening quarter for the Sharks tonight. Currently locked at 12 apiece in this second quarter.
If I'm the Nuggets, it's all about trying to string 1 stop and 2 buckets together. How many strings of 3 can we get to go in this last 4 minutes and 20 seconds?
Kendall getting a lot of the ball in his hands at the moment. Here he is with a little bit of room to move. Steps around Timmins. No one there to guard him, and that's what he does. Nails it.
Well, I don't understand the coverage there. Going underneath the screen on Jeremy Kendall is absolute death if the big's not able to stand with him.
He moves to 10. Turnover. Here they come again.
And a poor decision there, just forcing it, not getting it high enough to Timmins. Another Cardinal sin.
Great work through hands. Back-to-back triples for the Sharks. Nuggets timeout now. What a response by the team in orange. Guy Malloy asked for more ball movement, and that's exactly what he got.
And out of the timeout, the response was poor from the Nuggets. Their intensity completely dropped, gave up 2 wide open looks on back-to-back possessions with a turnover in between. Not what you want to see for a team that was lowest in the competition in turnover percentage. They've already got 5 at this point in the ball game. Not what you want to see when you're trying to make a comeback, but the reason they do have a comeback to make in the first place.
Well, Nuggets have a lot of questions being asked of them right now. They give up 82 points a game, the Nuggets. They've already given up 52 in this one.
That shows you that, I mean, first it's a team that's down on talent. No McLaughlin, no Ty Webster still to come. But it also shows you a team that's not playing with the intensity they need to. Just 30 points at this point.
Can I add to that? Let's talk about the Sharks. The Sharks on average give up 93 a game. So far they've given up 29.
This is possibly the best defensive performance they've had this season. I can't think of a lower score total. And they've only let 4 Nuggets score in total. 12 for Withers, 10 for Harris. And that's 4 for Timmons and 3 for Bardsley. So there are not a lot of offensive options out there. Bardsley, the only player off the bench to take a shot yet, and Darcy Knox only 1 shot in total. So just 2 shots outside of Withers, Harris, and Timmons.
Tisovic with the rebound. Did you say it's a 3-hour drive from Dunedin to Invercargill?
It's around 2. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
At the moment, it's going to feel like a 10-hour drive going home. Kendall adds another 2.
It's definitely longer after an L. Is Jeremy Kendall finding space once again. They're not doing a good job staying connected with him as this game moves forward.
He's got 12. Timmons out to Knox for 3. Desperately needed for the Nuggets. Darcy Knox.
Like the nice inside-outside play. Sam Timmons, always a willing passer out of the low post as the Nuggets give it a go with a little bit of zone.
And Tisovic pulls up. That's just too easy. Feels like I've said too easy about 4 times this half.
You call what you see, and that is what is being viewed right now. Just one dribble, gets the defender on his hip. Middle of the zone's not there in time.
Pledger all over Withers. Withers bothered by his left foot at the moment. Timmons underneath. That's better from the big man.
Well, just gets it up, and Lynn looked like he might have been losing the handle on it, but does enough to get the bounce. Can they cut it under 20?
And Tisovic in a zone now. The Nuggets. Timmons, another block on Inga.
Well, he's doing a good job patrolling the paint, but not gaining possession out of it once again.
Look at the work here from Kendall. 14 points in the game.
Well, he's just toying with him. He's just, whoever's guarding him is just having no effect. This long layoff has done wonders for Jeremy Kendall's body. You can see it.
Harris, catch and shoot, is fouled. Coming down, Alonzo Burton.
Not really sure what Alonzo Burton was thinking on that one. Michael Harris just couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat right now. That would have been 0 for 6. Force him to make one before you guard him with that kind of closeness and make it really difficult. You know, make him think about that. I mean, no, keep the hand there. Let him know a defender's there, but you cannot commit that foul.
Well, he's a volume shooter, isn't he, Casey? Hits 3 triples a game, but shooting at just 29% on the season.
And I think some of that was the first 3 or 4 games of the year where he just was really struggling from deep. We've seen him catch fire, and as of late, I wouldn't be surprised if that's 5, 6, 7 percentage points higher over the last 4 or 5 games. But he was certainly in an icebox, and not just the Edgar Center early in the season, shooting the ball.
From the TAB stripe, perfect stuff from Michael Harris.
They missed the first one, unfortunately, so didn't close the gap as much as they could have, but down to 18. Can they get a stop? Can anyone slow down Jeremy Kendall?
Not at the moment. And again, he takes on the zone and fires away. Long way out. Looked good off the hand. Knox through. Just couldn't get it to go. Ben Hall there to meet him at the basket.
Did the work. Nice read. Just missed the bunny.
Corner ball. Johnny Hilu. And there's a foul on the rebound. It's going to go against Withers.
Not sure.
No?
From this angle what we saw there. No, I think that is Timmons. Where the call is. Because Timmons wasn't involved in the action, so I'm pretty sure it's Withers out there on the backside, but I'm not sure exactly what the contact was. Josh Cunningham, he's just making himself felt in the low post, finding his position, holding it there. And another backdoor cut.
Well, we've seen that a few times tonight. This team in baby blue are asleep right now, Casey, because yet again, on a baseline inbound, the Sharks just finding gaps.
It's porous. When they're set up in the zone, you have to stay in between the man and the ball. If you're on that weak side, you have to force, as Jack Andrews was there, you have to force that cutter on top of your body. If he gets behind you and has any space in the baseline, he's going to get a bucket, and Anticevic finishes the three-point play there because of it.
By the way, that earlier foul was on Sam Timmins, so he's subbed out. He's got 2 fouls to his name. Not sure that he was involved. As you said, Jack Andrew comes through and knocks it in, but he did pick up the call.
Well, let's see if being a little bit quicker of foot, or with Jack Andrew in there, we see a pickup in intensity from this Nug squad.
Cunningham. Jack Andrew there to put the pressure on. Falls to Darcy Knox. Back the other way. Harris, catch, shoot. That looks better. Can't finish. Jack Andrew back to back.
We'd like to see a little activity on the glass. Great possession. We mentioned earlier in the game they only had 7 rebounds, but that has been kicked all the way up to 11. Or 12, the first 2 offensive rebounds of the game as well for Andrews.
Inside the last minute of the opening half, here's Ben Hall. How good did that shot look off the hand?
Oh, and a steal from Johnny Helu afterwards. Oh, but the foul called. Fortunate for the Nuggets, because it was about to be explosive in there. And back to the Ben Hall shot. Looked very good, but so much time. The amount of time these guys are having to line things up from the perimeter. Must feel like it is a holiday. They're on vacation. 5
points in the game now for Ben Hall. He's been productive. Burton and Kendall have 14 each. Kendall also 6 assists. All the stats with thanks to the official stats partner of the Salza NBL, the TAB, Darcy Knox at the stripe now. 27-23 quarter by the Sharks. Timeout called here. Both teams still have their Sky City player timeout available in this first half as well.
You want to save that one, of course, for those last second shots, or when you're a player really struggling on the court. Just 30 seconds left, 18 points the difference. And I got to say, the Nuggets are lucky to be only down 18.
Final 6 is coming up July 20 to 23. I know those tickets are on sale now, and I'm fairly sure, Casey, that if you do book your tickets, oh, there we go. If you do book your tickets at the moment, there's the QR code, so easy to snap that and get into the ticket site. It's actually a little bit of percentage off at the moment.
Oh, 15% off right now.
I'll take anything.
20% off for a week-long membership
I'll
pass.
take anything.
And that's what you got. You gotta get to all the games. Go buy yourself a pass, get 20% off. It's gonna be some great basketball. 4 of those players that we see on screen right now at the bottom will not be there. I can't say it right. The Sharks, they're still in the thick of it.
Oh, I know David Azor's definitely not going to be there, regardless of whether
possibly five. Possibly
five or not. He's already on a plane. He's gone. Kendrick Ray, the new import for the Airs, by the way, played last night. What were your thoughts?
He looked solid. You know, we saw a bit more explosiveness. That was certainly something that they were lacking with David Azor at the point guard position. And I think that ability to draw a little bit of attention away from Anthony Hilliard should help him as well to finally find a little bit of freedom of movement.
Airs were in it for a long way with the Saints last night. Unfortunately for them, no Anzac Rosetto, no Quinton Bailey, and no Armon Fletcher.
Yeah, not enough bodies against a team like the Saints, who have players in reserve and a lot of size, a lot of length continuing to come at you as Darcy Knox hits 1 out of 2.
They've won their last 4, the Saints.
I've read this script before.
Guess who the Nuggets play next week?
I think it might be the Saints.
They do. They're on the road, the Jets and the Saints. In fact, it's a quick turnaround. They're up the floor here with a little bit of pressure. They're back in action on Thursday night on the road, the Nuggets. A double back-to-back in 24 hours, Jets and Saints. Anticevic waiting, calculating, and in the end, Jack Andrew getting the better of him. Dying seconds here. A basket would be handy for the Nuggets. They won't get it off the hand of Matthew Bardsley. So at halftime, Sharks lead this one by 23. Impressively, they've put 64 on the board. Casey Frank.
64 on the board, doubling them Nuggets up on the rebound count, absolutely smothering them defensively. It's all Sharks in the first half.
Much better performance. They've lost their last 3 at home, the Sharks. But here at the Shark Tank, they are well and truly on their way to turning that around. They lead by 23 at the half. TAB stats coming up on the other side of the break. Don't go away.
The organisation made up of 6 bands ranging from beginners, which could be any age, through to 3 juvenile bands, A grade, 4, 3, and grade 1 as well, which is the highest grade. Then it goes. Folks ahead, pipe and hot. Please make welcome the ALT, City of Otago, Highland Pipe Bands.
Monday night hoops in the Cells NBL. It's a Southern stoush. And right now, the Sharks looking the goods over the Nuggets. Halftime, Sharks leading by 23. Justin Nelson, Casey Frank with you. TAB stats at the half, and right now, dominated. Absolutely dominated by the home team. Have a look at this.
Well, the only place they've got any chances in the leading scorers, Michael Harris with 14, although it's not on great efficiency as he has let them fly to the tune of 5 for 14 from the field to get there. Alonzo Burton, Jeremy Kendall, and Grant Anticevich playing really well efficiently. Love what I've seen from Josh Cunningham as well.
Kendall's second quarter in particular, he really started to motor, didn't he? There's the rebounds, and although Withers has 4, it is a rebound count dominated by the Sharks as well.
25 to 13 on the glass, and only credit for 1 offensive rebound in that first half goes to the Nuggets. This is a complete reversal of fortune from the first game, where the Sharks, who had 9 offensive rebounds in the first half, only had 8 in the total game. And there you see the assist game. Look at the ball for the Sharks. The movement, it has energy. It's finding the open man. It's kinetic. The exact opposite for the Nuggets. It's all one-on-one basketball. Very rarely getting any kind of easy looks off the extra pass. And big block party down low for Timmons and Andrew, but it has not had any real effect on the Sharks' offensive efficiency.
No, absolutely not. Their inside-outside game has been good. They've picked their way through the zone at times, and steals all belonging to the Sharks as well. It has been one-way action tonight. The Nuggets, of course, have lost their last two, maybe out of form. No Ja'Cory McLaughlin. Ty Webster still to come into this team at some stage this season as well. But that doesn't mean a whole lot right now. At the half, the Sharks lead it by 23. Quarter number 3 coming up. Stick with us tonight. Sal's NBL round 9.
Fantastic stuff. You can see the platforms actually over 100 members. They're currently recruiting new fighters and drummers. So if you're interested and you want to look at that, all you need to do is hop onto the Facebook page, and as you can see, it's something for all ages, no doubt about that. And remember, of course, quite a lot is at the Civic Theatre on June 16. I understand there are still some limited tickets available, but not many. So they're a quite a hot concert, great night out. And as you can see, there's the traditional tunes, along with some latest pop releases and a couple of rock classics that we'll get into the good measure as well. How it goes? So there you go, doing stirred by the Sharks, first half performance. Gets stirred by the Pikes, of Hong. We'll be here, of course, next Saturday night, and their afternoon entertainment will also include a special presentation by the Otago Musical Theatre Company ahead of their 2023 production of Jersey Boys. So that'll be something worth coming along for as well. Bit of a sneak preview, speaking of some classics, a few bangers from back in the day in the Frankie Valley in the Four Seasons. The story of Jersey Boys, we've got them live performing at half-time Saturday night when we're back here at ILT Stadium Southland.
Welcome back to ILT Stadium, Southland. Great to have you with us this evening. King's birthday basketball action in the Sal's NBL. Sharks lead this one by 23 at the half. Casey, we've mentioned a couple of times through the opening half that the Nuggets made that big announcement during the week. Ty Webster, of course, to join them. Has to play 5 games to qualify for finals, of course. I'm sure that he'll get those games in, but he wasn't the only player announced during the week. It was busy times in the Sal's NBL.
So many names you can barely keep track of them. Josh Cunningham was announced, of course, the week before. We had Joe Lawson announced for the Tuatara.
Comes in next week. We'll be playing round 10.
Which is going to be a big one. Had the import for the Canterbury Rams, whose name escapes me.
Galen Smith.
Galen Smith.
Played, of course.
Apologies.
Yep.
So there is a lot of movement in it. There might be a couple of announcements still to come.
All I'll say right now is it will be well worth tuning in to Hoopheads on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Make sure you join us for that, because I've got a feeling we may have a little bit more news on the way. way.
And you love to see it. I mean, Kendrick Ray, he came in, had an effect.
But you love to see hoop heads or the news?
I don't love to see hoop heads, but I'm on it. I'm not a big fan of myself, I gotta say. It's all to just it's all just to tell myself what a bad job I've done if I watch it. But you love to see the teams making the moves at this point in the season and saying, you know what, we're on the cusp, or we need to be a little bit better to match what everyone else is doing, and commit to the fact that if we make that move, we could be in there, we could be in the six, we could be in with a chance.
I can see your young son running up to the TV and slapping the screen when Dad appears.
I mean, it's the same. That's what they do when I'm there. You've seen it up close and personal, Justin. They're goers.
It's been a big round so far in round 9. The big winners, of course, Saints with 2 on the road. Jets lost 2 on the road, but gee, they were right in there against both the Tuatara and the Bulls. They just can't seem to get across the line, can they?
I think they went down by 14 and 15 in the games respectively. Against the Tuatara, they were up 5 with about 5 minutes to go, and just scored 2 points the rest of the way from that point on. And against
they were
the Bulls,
right there last night against the Bulls
got
as well.
Got off to a really poor start, but fought their way back, had it all the way back to 4 points. And from that point on, the Bulls, I believe, went on a 9-2 run to finish, or thereabouts before the end of the game. So right on the cusp of doing what they need to do to put themselves in that final 6 mix. But you know, if you can't execute down the stretch, that's when games are obviously won and lost. You don't need a commentator to tell you that. If you're not doing that, you're not going to get it done.
I was calling the Airs and Saints game yesterday, and it's a bizarre thing with the Saints in that they are the leading scoring team in the competition, but they also give up the most points. They are literally first and last in regards to scoring and defending.
Well, the two sides should be more connected, but they've got that ability to push the ball. They've got a lot of skill sets. I'm a little bit surprised considering how many losses they've had throughout the season. Adam missed a lot of time. They haven't had Isaiah Liafa for a lot of time. That they're as good as they are offensively, but defensively, it's all about hard work, commitment, sacrificing your body, and we just haven't seen that with enough consistency up to this point of the season from the Saints.
I'll tell you what, though, look out if they find it.
Look at, well, as always, look, they're a talented team. They've got size, they've got athleticism, they've obviously got scoring ability. If they can defend at a league average level, they will be very dangerous indeed.
No doubt about that. Underway here, second half tonight, Monday night action. And Jeremy Kendall starting where he left off with the ball in hand. He had a huge second quarter tonight. Josh Cunningham, first game back in. And first score of this third quarter.
Look how he makes the contact with the body of the shot blocker and Sam Timmons. And the second he gets him off balance, goes up with that quick little push hook shot. Really nice, clever play there.
He has 10 in the game. Foul called here under the basket. Withers and Cunningham tangle up. And it's going to be Todd Withers with the foul, is it?
Wow. That's
you can see the look on his face.
I'm not sure we have a replay of it, but I did not see anything untoward. I just saw Cunningham run into a screen when he's a little off. Whose ball is this? No one knows. Everyone's confused.
Well, by the way, the Sharks are going the other way, so I think they've finally worked out they're at the wrong end of the floor here. And there is mass confusion. Definitely the signal was a Todd Withers foul. And that's the way it is. Show Sharks ball. And maybe the Nuggets applying a little bit of pressure up the floor here.
That'll be the second personal foul, I believe. Don't know if our stats have quite tripped over yet.
Here's Inga. Anticevic. We know he can get hot. Spins to the basket off the glass. Couldn't get the roll. Timmons picked up the dribble.
Almost Weber-esque, and not in a good way.
And didn't catch it. So turnover here for the Nuggets. We know the first half was hard. It hasn't started any better in the second.
No, it absolutely is not. Back-to-back turnovers in your first 2 possessions. That is not what the doctor asked for. Unless it's an Invercargill doctor.
Can't say I've ever seen an Invercargill doctor.
Well, it's because, why would you? Picture of health, Justin. Picture of health.
Most days. Here's Kendall. puts it in. Cunningham outside. Burton about to light it up again. Zoe Burton.
Well, just taking his time out there on the perimeter. The interior passing is what forced that coverage inside, and then the nice seal on the screen to get Zoe to look on the perimeter for the finish.
Timmins loves that move, spinning back. Draws the foul. He'll head to the TAB strike. Where are the Nuggets at, Casey? They've lost their last 2 at home. Went down to the Hawks last week by 1 in a cliffhanger. Staring down the barrel here, 28-point deficit. Talk to us about the Nuggets.
Well, second game in a row without their point guard. They lost a very tough, hard-fought game against the Tuatara, who they had just beaten the week before. And sometimes with that familiarity, you take a step back or you figure some things out. But today is the most disjointed they've looked. They didn't look great against the Hawks, but that's a kind of gritty game that they forced their way through. Today, they just look like they miss a point guard. They have nobody telling people where to go. The offense has been shambles. We're just not creating anything. If they're able to get that top-level talent back, this is going to be a different squad. The question is, how quickly can they assimilate them into the style of play they started the season at, that hard-nosed, gritty defensive unit? That's where they need to get again.
It does help when you've got that buffer of winning your opening 7 games of the season.
Yeah, you know, you always want to have the wins in hand, and they do, and that gave them this ability to have a bad week or 3.
Burton just turning to the basket. Left Darcy Knox behind. Slow to his feet. Harris now searching. Robbie Coleman on the perimeter. That one short. Anticevic, big rebound.
Just a lack of second chance opportunities. 46 shots for the Sharks, just 33 for the Nuggets. A 13-shot difference in this one. And give up 13 more shots, you're just not going to win.
Big difference. Michael Harris applying some pressure there. Kendall, shot clock at 2, has to go. Big shot. And he wasn't too far away. They're going to get it back, the Sharks. Came off the hand of Sam Timmins. He's pleading his case. Not sure that's going to get heard too well.
Well, that looked to me like it was the right call, unless he's trying to say he was fouled. But it looked like he was swiping the ball back towards the baseline. Hit it there, and good hustle rewarded for the Sharks once again, trying to build on this 26-point lead.
Well, if we're on the jury, that's 2 votes against Sam Timmins. I agree. Sharks ball. And they get to go again. Burton, Pledger, turns and just lofts it in off that right hand. How good is it to see the big fella, the chief back, doing that sort of stuff?
It's just so easy for him. You're sad for the years he missed, but lovely to see him back in the game and working his fake foul. Oh my, Michael Harris with a gift.
Gift indeed. Will they be made to pay Anticevic a lot of time?
My guess is yes, they will.
Hands it off to Inga, and there it is. Yes, indeed.
Just the attention to lack of detail is startling for a team that was dominating the league a few weeks ago. And Brent Matahade, I think he's right not to call a timeout. You guys got to figure this out on the court.
Well, they're all over the place right now. Get a lucky call on the baseline, down by 31.
Just no movement, just guys looking at each other, asking for help, and none coming. You see, like there's an open man, he doesn't want to pass it there, he decides to put it on the floor and just dribble into multiple defenders, making things difficult for themselves. Let the ball do some work.
There is the timeout. Very un-Nuggets-like basketball right now. Just 3.5 minutes into this 3rd quarter. And already a 10-2 run by the Sharks. Burton, Kendall, Anticevic, Cunningham, all in double-digit scoring. Been a dominant performance.
And we see Sam Timmins with the long conversations with the officiating crew after that one. Look, you're down 29, or sorry, 31. It's not the refs, mate. It is. You got to put this on yourselves and go out there and figure it out. Yes, the calls may be frustrating, but this is a hole that you've dug that if you haven't brought your shovel down, you're going to have to start digging with something else. Find a toothpick, do something, get some of that dirt out of the way.
Oh, they're the Nuggets after all. They know how to dig.
There you go. You should find a couple of gold nuggets down there.
Where's Mac the Miner when you need him? Sharks, by the way, we mentioned what the Nuggets are up to in round 10. Thursday, Friday against the Jets and the Saints. Sharks back home here at the Shark Tank next Saturday. They take on the Airs, and depending on who comes in for that Airs team, we know that they can strengthen up really quickly, and they will be absolutely desperate for a win.
They've been playing well. They've had some good performances at home. Well, they've been playing up and down. At times, they are finding themselves offensively. But another team, this is the story at the bottom half of the competition. Got to find some way to get consistent as Todd Withers hits the baseline jumper.
And he's been the only one that's looked like it tonight. He's got 14. Easily their best in what has been a really hard night of basketball. Again, another second chance for the Sharks. Shot clock at 9. Anticevic had Pledger inside, goes out to Kendall. Back of the iron, Withers.
A little bit of zone mix-up. This time a bit more challenging out there.
Aitchison shoots super early. Off the hand of Pledger.
Yeah, when you're down big, quick shots are not the answer. Making a team work and finding quality shots is the answer. Just catching it, chucking it with off one pass with a hand in your face is still not highly efficient.
Foul off the ball here. Withers on his haunches. Anticevic might be called for the foul here. Pledger maybe, who's pleading his case right now, and it will be the chief with the foul.
Tough to be a big man. I've run into that hip and plexus before. That will knock the wind out of you.
Bardsley runs into Pledger. Good pass. Harris fires away, and yet again, just cannot drain a shot.
4 for 18 from deep now. And 3 of those makes are Todd Withers.
They sit in this zone. Burton out on the deep left corner by himself. And if you give Zoe Burton space, Casey Frank, he is going to nail them.
Well, especially when he's found a bit of form. He is playing well. 20 points now. 6 for 7 from deep.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. If he sits out there, he'll just keep doing the business. Anticevic with space. Nails another.
Oh, my. You can just start the bus. Right now, Coach Brent Montahada is just like, can I just forfeit this one? We need to go back to the drawing board.
35-point margin. It has been some sort of a show tonight by the Sharks. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay. Here's the foul. Just turning back into Kendall.
Oh, jeez.
Just didn't expect it in the end.
Oh, why would you? He was going over a screen. He had the space. But this is the worst these uniforms have ever looked, because they are clean uniforms on the Nuggets. But this 35-point deficit was taking some luster off of them.
JR Heat into the action now. The Twin Towers working together, and they can't get a score.
Can they play some defense? Can we take away an open look? Never mind.
Anticevic doesn't even want to wait for the defense to set up.
Well, where's the communication? Nobody talking who's got the ball. Nobody even gets a hand up till the ball's out of his hand.
What's the three-point shooting for the Sharks, Casey, with thanks to the TAB as Timmins gets one back?
The three-point shooting is 13 for 23.
Wow.
For the Sharks right now. It is a fantastic percentage of obviously over 50, up to about 57.
Pledger turns. He's got his eye in, the big fella. Alex Pledger just makes it look effortless.
Yeah, there's a lack of resistance right now. The Sharks able to get it where they want.
Timmins banks it. Back-to-back baskets for Sam Timmins.
I'll give him credit. Say he called that one as Zoe Burton travels.
So still 3:52 to play in this third quarter. There's Alonzo Burton. Has been in hot form tonight. 20 in the game. He is the game high scorer right now.
4 starters for the Sharks in double figures. Braden Inger was 7. Sure to join him at some point. 20 for Burton, 18 for Anticevic, 14 for Kendall, and 10 for Cunningham.
And Timmins is just going to fire away from here on out, I think.
Did that hit and go over? I thought that was still alive if it just touches the back but comes back to the front.
No, it did hit that shot clock up on top.
Well, thank you for that. It's better eyes than me once again. Someone else. You must have a whistle.
There's Jeremy Kendall. Oh, impressive pass through to Josh Cunningham. That is a dime.
Just putting it on him. Jeremy Kendall loves to run that pick and roll, and he knows how to feed the big fellas.
That is assist number 10, Casey.
Unsurprising for a man with a 43% assist percentage.
Darcy Knox. Another rebound for the Sharks. Anticevic has been busy on the boards tonight. That's his 8th. And now just slowing it down. Not sure what the whistle is for. Maybe just to give the Nuggets a breather.
Josh Aitchison looking like he's grabbing a jaw.
Timmins heads to the sideline. There's Coach Brent Matahari. Tough night in the office for him. Championship coach. Also led the Nuggets to the 2020 showdown.
Still championship of the Paisleys in the Sal's NBL.
Don's a good shirt, it must be said.
He's got a plethora of Paisleys in the closet, I think.
Who are the top fashionistas amongst the coaches in the Sal's NBL? I value your opinion, as they do too.
I mean, are there any? It's mostly New Balance polos. No effect to the New Balance coaches polo. As we see another triple drop, 90 to 50.
It is raining threes.
Call the cops. There's a murder in here.
Oh, man, get the handcuffs now.
We don't even need a confession. We see the evidence in front of us.
Where's Nick Barrow when you need him? Joe Ahi, Anticevic, another rebound. He's off. The Sharks are enjoying this one. Southern Stoush.
Oh, hit him again.
And they do. Bang, bang, bang.
The body is gone. Let him lie. Oh, my Lord.
This has been one heck of a show tonight by the Sharks. One for the books. And if you're going to come out and do this sort of job on a team, nothing better than doing it against your arch rivals.
And still no smiles for the coaching staff of the Sharks.
Oh, he'll be smiling at some stage, surely.
Not during the game.
Into the game, Caleb Smiler wearing the number 1. Coleman well short. On the run again, it falls fortuitously to Josh Cunningham. Just bustles his way through like a bowling ball, Josh Cunningham.
Why not? Go straight through, maybe get the call. Josh Cunningham. Does he think he wasn't? Let's see. Are we set here? Yeah, that's a charge.
That's a charge.
What's the? I don't know.
Come on, Josh.
I was trying to see it from his point of view there, but when you're up 43 and you're running through the chest of the defender standing in front of the rim,
come on, Josh.
You're not going to get the benefit of that doubt.
15 of 25 from downtown tonight for the Sharks.
60%.
Ben Hall, who's just hit back-to-back, 3 of 4 he has from long range.
But once again, what's won this game is the possession game. They've held the Nuggets to 2 offensive rebounds, and they've only had 3 turnovers.
And look at this set of 5 right now for the Nuggets. This says a bit. Robbie Coleman, Jack Andrew, Max Pierce is out there.
Oh, is it the 4th quarter?
Oh, Caleb Smiler's out there. Johnny Hillu, nowhere to go. Ben Hall, impressive. Hillu, open again. And another triple for the Sharks. Number 16.
This is a massacre. The Kingsborough, not the turnover for Coleman. They might have a name for this in Invercargill for a fair few years. The King's Birthday Massacre, perhaps.
Ooh, there you go.
There's blood in the water at the Shark Tank, that's for sure.
Just another marketing masterpiece from C. Frank.
You got to get some alliteration in there. That's the key.
44 is the margin now, believe it or not. It's a 32-11 quarter. And Ben Hall travels. Well, joke we might, but Nuggets fans sitting back in Dunedin at the moment, and Ja'Cory McLaughlin will be one of them. We know that. They will not be enjoying this one iota. It's been a dirty night in Invercargill. Bardsley denied on the move. Hall gets up. Another 2 for him. Cowie with the feed.
Well, just one-way traffic still. Are they going to double them up? Are they going to get 102 to 50? At some point, some pride's got to kick in, or even just a return to the mean. Can the Sharks just shoot averagely? You're just begging for something if you're on the court for the Nuggets right now.
Jack Andrew has a crack. Misses everything.
Well, Rick up 100 points here in the
By the way, we've got
quarter.
a quarter to go. Just for our viewers, we've got a quarter to go.
The Sharks have hit 30 in every quarter. 34 in the first, 30 in the second, and 30 plus here in the third. 3 more for it.
Dean Hall, listen to the crowd.
They really wanted 100.
Well, they've still got another 10 minutes to do that, and Guy Malloy needs his team in form. I'm not sure that he's going to take the foot off the throat here. 3/4 time, the Sharks, in an absolute barnstorming performance, lead this one by 46. 1 quarter to go. Monday Night Hoops in the Sal's NBL. Don't go away.
So I'll bring it down. Your job to make a basket. Every time you do, you come back and you steal off FIBA takes off lane. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Off we go. Let's have a look at what these boys have got. Ethan goes up, throws it in. So he's underway. 3 goes back to FIBA. Lay it down there. Ethan rolls up. He's on the ball as well. Last chance. Play and this is the layup. Makes it in the second. Good stuff, mate. Hustle. You want to get in front here. Ethan's got another. All that 12 feet. Another break. Rolls around that. Good stuff, Ethan. All right, behind his voice. Here they go. Down and down. 2 to go. 3 to go, maybe. Good stuff, mate. Can you go one more here? Wait up. Right. Long march. Go up. Next basket, go. Now, make that ball there now. We are not. That was my one. There you go. The South being still. All right, 300 defensive force. 4 defensive unit. Craig, you got 6. That'll keep you down for a week and a half.
Welcome back to the Deep South. Sal's super special for round 9, the free mozzarella sticks, and they are absolute beauties with any large pizza. Pick up only. The online code is CHARGE, available to next Wednesday. My lovely wife's birthday next Wednesday, by the way.
Oh,
happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Better get that in.
No, you better go get a present.
Oh, do you need to do that?
That's the thing.
Does that count every year, does it?
You know what wives don't value? Mentions on air.
Don't say it. I regret it already. 46-point margin.
Except maybe mine's listening. Hi, Mia. I love you.
Slap the TV one more time. Robbie Coleman
Another
had
turnover.
his foot well and truly out of court then.
Just at some point, you got to go back to basics, and you just got to say, hey, can we take care of the basketball? Can we play a little bit of mistake-free basketball? And that, the answer has been no.
TAB stats, Josh Cunningham fires away. Rebound count 37 to 19 in favour of the Sharks, with thanks to the TAB. What else is standing out, Case?
Oh, it's just a shooting display. And, I don't know if you're going to take a lot from this game. Sometimes as a player, Sam Timmons gets the little reverse.
Sharks will take a lot.
Well, I don't know if you do. In a game like this, when everything goes right, you're like, okay, well, we're shooting the ball better, but there's not a lot to learn. You haven't really tested yourself. It's almost just like, I always compared it, basically you're running into a buzzsaw. That thing's spinning, you're just going through it.
You know what the Sharks will take that they desperately needed? They're going to take the win.
The win. They did their job. I don't think they're going to get too excited about the performance, despite the fact that it has been obviously very impressive. But the Nuggets, they are looking at the door, and there's some help coming as Michael Harris gets the finish. But this kind of loss, this can do damage to his psyche.
Third quarter, Sharks 34 to the Nuggets 11. That's how dominant it was. Johnny Halou on the move. Good hands in there from Darcy Knox. Quickly up the floor, off the glass with the finish, Michael Harris.
Well, they got the starters back in, and they're starting to find a little bit of form here, which is exactly what you'd hope for.
Cowie. Cunningham. Big elbow into the chest of Todd Withers.
Well sold. Well sold there by Withers. You can see Cunningham. He does drop the shoulder a little bit, but Withers has him set up there.
As soon as you extend that arm, though, if the officials do see that gap, they see that space.
Absolutely.
You're going to get called every day of the week.
An easier whistle to make.
So the Nuggets on the road straight away as well, Casey. You talked about the psyche of where they're at off the back of this and confidence levels.
3 games in 5 days. Game Thursday, game Friday for the Nuggets. So they're going to have 1 day of rest and 1 day to try and figure out what to do in those next 2 wins. And, you know, as a player, I'd much rather just let me get back there on the court. This isn't who we are. I can prove that we're a different team.
Well, they're on a plane on Wednesday, aren't they? Heading to Palmerston North for that Thursday night clash. Of course, all of the Sal's NBL action, every game live on Sky Sport. Pledger looking to get crafty and set something up for Ben Adamson in the corner.
Is Southland going to score 100? Or are they just going to stay there?
You'd be disappointed, although they haven't added in a couple of minutes, have they? There's a foul. Pledger running into Michael Harris.
Nice little run put on here to start the quarter.
He's put in some big performances this year, Michael Harris. But like the rest of his teammates tonight, they certainly didn't head into ILT Stadium Southland expecting this.
Well, you knew they were going to be behind the 8 ball just a bit with no McLaughlin, no Ty Webster, who has signed but hasn't been able to join the team yet. And a season ago, no team depended more on its starters than this Nuggets squad. And when they did have injuries, it was to Withers, was it with their guard trio, they tended to struggle. This year they've developed more of a bench and they've lent more on the substitutes a bit more, but you can see they're still very dependent on that top level talent of the import class.
I'll tell you when you know it's a big night. I have been around Guy Malloy's coaching, foul call there on Ben Hall. Been around Guy Malloy's coaching for the best part of probably 10 years.
Never seen him sit this much.
I have never seen him sitting down as much as I've seen him tonight.
Not one, no, definitely not.
He is glued to that chair.
You know, the job's done. You know what? You don't want to be silly about it. You're up to 37. The Nuggets are making a little run. Things aren't going perfectly
there he
for
is.
the Sharks, but as well as you could hope at this point in time.
The Aussie coach grew up in the country town of Young in New South Wales.
Okay, that sounds not close to Sydney.
He's a big rugby league fan. Of course, State of Origin during the week on Sky Sport. The Maroons getting the win over the Blues. He was devastated, by the way.
As you should be.
He won't like me talking about that.
Who wants you talking about the league during the basketball night?
Well, you can tell we're drifting. It's only 36 points.
And there's 7 minutes to go. Well, I guess if you're the Nuggets, you're hoping for some semblance of life. You do have a game in a short amount of time. Well, just the overpass there by Timmons on a nice set play.
Here's Anticevic. Turns it over. No, he doesn't. Michael Harris, nice hand in the lane. Hilou keeps it alive. Cowie in the corner now, on the move. Johnny Hilou. 2 young bucks working together. Hands it back. Well, Chief then. Alex Pledger with that pump fake just held it up nicely before releasing.
He used both credit cards under that vertical to get the hang time for the finish. Bring up 100 for Alex Pledger.
And now gets a stop at the other end. He'll be enjoying his minutes tonight. Just the experience and knowledge that he would have been adding to training the last couple of weeks as well. Another opportunity off the glass.
Not the kiss for Ben Hall. Not the kiss off the baseline.
Is that his 4th triple tonight, Ben Hall? It is.
I can't count that high.
4 of 6.
It is not stopping.
Harris with another miss. 103-62. And still the Sharks keep coming. Another corner opportunity. Johnny Hilou Back-to-back triples. Brett Matahati wants a timeout. And the 3-ball just continue to rain down here tonight. That is their 18th of the game.
A 44-piece. Reminds me of a couple of games where I was down big, really big at one point in time. First season, the Breakers are the ones that first really come to mind. And I remember one game we were down 50 to the Wollongong Hawks at the time.
Can you slow down? We've got 5.5 minutes to hear this story.
I just remember it was the second game of the season. The third game, Breakers had won 1-1 the first, and we were down 50 to Glenn Saville, Matty Campbell. And I just remember looking over at my teammates, Lindsay Tate, and I think Brad Williams, and I said, it'll be a miracle if we lose by under 40. And I dropped in a couple of spicy words in that same comment, and it was. We ended up losing by 39. Miracles can happen.
There you go. Speaking of miracles, there'll be some teams heading for a big finish. Maybe Fairy Tales, Final 6. Tickets on sale now, July 20 to 23 at the Trusts Arena. And you get a little bit of a discount at the moment if you scan that QR code and book your tickets.
15% right now until Thursday, midnight. That's the last of the early bird sales available. Get them while they're hot. And I guarantee nobody's going to be up 44 in the Final 6.
Oh, no, I think the Final 6 is going to be red hot this year. Anybody's title right now amongst those top 6 or 7 teams for mine. Here's Joe Ahi. Fresh air. And might have come off the foot of Tom Cowie. Speaking of the old days, Casey, of course, we have Hoop Heads every week on Sky Sport. You and I do a little bit of a gig on radio as well. Matthew Barnsley off to the TAB stripe. Caught up with Nick Horvath during the week. Star player in the Sal's NBL, of course, amongst other competitions and leagues around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It was always a pleasure to have Nick on. Can we get him on here for a couple stories?
Oh, he had a couple.
No, but it was always good to reminisce. A great competitor for years before we became close friends. Competing not only across the NBL, but for tall black spots as well. And with that familiarity, thankfully did not grow contempt. But there is a man who played a lot of basketball and understood how to utilize his skill set to great effect.
He'll be out, of course, watching his beloved Jets in action on Thursday night when they take on the Nuggets. 5 minutes to play in this one. It's been all the Sharks. Johnny Halou has been active. Good game from him tonight. Floats it up, back of the iron. Matthew Bardsley drags it down and quickly up the floor for the Nuggets. Stuck inside the paint. Heads outside. Caleb Smiler hands it off with a dribble, just steadying Bardsley off the glass for 2.
Good solid offense. I like the attack on the rim. Not settling for the three-point shot. Well, better late than never.
And a good chance for some of these young Nuggets to get some extended court time tonight. And they come up with it. Caleb Smiler.
Got the fast break opportunity. Get up, young fellas. Oh, good choice there by Bardsley. Really didn't have it.
He's probably the oldest player on the floor for the Nuggets right now, Bardsley. Sends it back to Maxwell Pierce. Off the glass. Good finish, Joe Ahi.
Hey, down to 38. Here we go. Little mini comeback.
Impressive from the Sharks tonight. We talked about them defensively, holding the Nuggets to just 68 at the moment. Inga inside.
As Brett Inga moves closer to joining all the other starters in double figures. He's got 9 now. Every single Shark has scored.
It's definitely a night out. Tom Cowie with the foul in the corner. I do like getting out to the games, Casey, as you do, and running into a lot of the former players of the competition. It's great to see them out there still involved and still supporting, and usually in the stands with families these days and children and the next generation coming through. But it's always great when we're out at games in the Sal's NBL and you run into the former stars.
Absolutely. It's always felt like one of the biggest family clubs you can be a part of in my time across the NBL. You know, players bring their kids through if they're playing, if they have them, and certainly share that love for the game to that next generation. I know today I was watching the finals with my kids and, you know, trying to convince my daughter to continue to watch it and not switch over to something else. But there's nothing like going to a game and seeing it up close in person. And I actually, you know, went to a game this week with the fam, and for the first time in a while, just got to sit at a game and watch it without trying to think of it and ways to describe it. And man, it is fun to watch from up close. You know, just see.
$14 points, 10 assists for Kendall tonight with 6 rebounds and a couple of triples.
Grant Anticevich, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Putting together a nice game there. You had an interesting stat on Grant Anticevich that semi could continue today. Just 1 of 2 from the free throw line. They didn't end up needing it, but not for a big man. Hasn't been to the line a lot this season.
Yeah, heading into the game, just 13 trips to the foul line. Mind you, he's pretty good. He put away 12 of those, goes at 92%, but in 5 of his 10 games before tonight, didn't have a free throw.
Which is a bit strange for a guy who does look in there trying to find the contact, but hasn't been able to earn his way. Something I thought was going to come into play today was their free throw rate. Ended up not mattering for one reason or another, or maybe it was
been there 7 or 8 times tonight.
18 threes that they hit. Maybe that's the reason.
Well, they're not done with yet. Ben Hall from Adamson gets up. Had a little bit too much juice on it in the end. And now Smiler back the other way. 2 minutes to play in this one. I don't know if it's been a Southern stoush as much as it's been a Southern bloodbath tonight.
One-way traffic. It is all one-way traffic this evening.
It's Ben Adamson.
Nuggets surprisingly did lead at one point in this game, had a 1-point lead early. But since then, just no defensive inroads, a lack of cohesiveness. Is that Alex Pledger's night? Did he foul out? Because I would love it.
Done for the evening.
Fouled out. Big Plexi fouls out in about 17 minutes. Good effort.
10 points, 3 rebounds for Pledger.
I think 17's about his limit. He's like, I'm going to head to the bench now.
And he's just starting to get his legs back under him, isn't he? It's great mid-season addition for the Sharks. And he's the sort of guy that could cause some real damage in about 6 or 7 weeks' time if they do, in fact, make the final 6.
Look, he's still of the age and the ability to influence basketball games on both ends of the court. If he is able to contribute for 24 minutes per game at that center position and allow Cunningham to slide occasionally down to the 4 and work that 3-headed monster with Anticevich, Cunningham, and Pledger for those 80 minutes a game, I think if they're around, he will be a real headache to deal with.
Margin at 40. 1:50 to play. Not sure what the biggest margin is this season, but I've got a feeling this one's going to take some beating. Smiler through traffic. A lot of spin on it. Here come the Sharks again. Hall to Cowie. Corner. Hilu's been pretty good. Inga with the rebound.
Well, he's got to get to double figures with this one.
And he does. They continue to dominate the boards. They continue to dominate the points. Up to 114 now.
11 points for Inga. 7th Southland Shark in double figures.
Nice basket, Joe Ahi.
Nice to see him back.
Coming back from that shoulder injury. You can see it heavily strapped up, the right shoulder. Missed a fair bit of time. Hilu left it behind. And the Nuggets now with just under a minute to go. Aitchison backs it out. They swing the ball through hands. Here's Ahi in the corner. Steps around Cowie. Gets met by Inga.
Black Party. Finishing in style. Inga's going to let it fly. No, he'd find his teammates.
Well, I think the Sharks are going to easily get the head-to-head on the Nuggets somehow. Cowie for three. Yes. Tom Cowie.
43-piece. It's got to be the highest scoring game of the season there, thereabouts. The Saints, they Saints around 20 this week.
Saints put 120 on the Giants the other night. That was a high-scoring game.
Yeah. 117-76.
120 to 112 that was. But this will be the biggest margin of the season. Seconds ticking down. Offensive foul. I think that's the first one we've seen all night.
That is definitely not the first one we've seen all night. Josh
Tonight?
Cunningham, Alex
right.
Pledger.
Yep, you're right. Sorry.
Sam Timmons, I think.
I drifted off about 35 minutes ago. To be fair. 117-76, that'll do us. Caleb Smiler might get a late shot up here. He does, and it rolls in.
Oh, cut it under 40. It's a miracle.
117-78. What a win for the Sharks. Dominating this one tonight. 34-17 first quarter, 30-24 second quarter, 34-11 third quarter. And believe it or not, the Nuggets managed to win that last quarter by a little bit. TAB stats for the game, and this is all going to lean to the left-hand side of the screen.
We saw the leading scorer was Michael Harris, but 7 double-figure scores for the Sharks. You see the rebounds there. Absolutely dominated as a team. 46-26 on the glass. You see the assists. Kendall in limited minutes still gets up there. 29-12 in the assist department to the Sharks. Just really moving the basketball nicely. 29 assists on 45 buckets. The block party, no blocks in the second half for the Nuggets. After Timmons and Andrews got there early. The steals, 6-3 Sharks over the Nuggets. Dominated yet again. We're seeing a lot of doubling up in tonight's game. And for the Nuggets, the quicker you can forget this one, the better. Got to find out what was going wrong. Got to find some level of intensity and execution. For the Sharks, man, can we find out? Can we get some more of that? whatever she's having, I want a little bit of that one.
Absolutely. Right from the start tonight, the Sharks were on. And although it's been one-way traffic, what do these two teams take away from this? Because they both enter a really important phase of the season. The Sharks back with a little bit of confidence, take on the Airs here at ILT Stadium, Southland next week. The Nuggets have now lost 3 in a row, and now they've got to go north, and they've got a tough double coming up Thursday, Friday.
Well, of course, first and foremost, the Nuggets be pointing towards Ja'Cory McLaughlin, not having him in the lineup, and the addition of Ty Webster. They can say, hey, we're going to get a talent infusion, but let's find some fire. Let's find some passion for the basketball game. For the Sharks, look, it's about taking care of the basketball and the glass for me. If they're able to rebound and keep the possession very close, not turn it over. You know, coming into the game, they were 8th in turnover percentage. At the end of the day, they finished with 13, but halfway through the third quarter, they had 3. They did such a nice job of keeping possession, and with their efficiency, if they keep the ball in hand, they're going to put it in the bucket.
Rebounds tonight, plus 20 for the Sharks, 46-26.
You know, that's an effort category. When you're losing to that amount on the glass, that's just more evidence that you did not have the work rate you needed to have.
They get the applause and the handshakes from this appreciative crowd tonight. Happy scenes that had been missing, it must be said. They lost their last 3 at home, the Sharks, before tonight. So for the fans, a happy night. They go home big, big winners. Sharks dominated this one. They get home 117-79 over the Nuggets. Round 9 done and dusted. Round 10 tips off on Thursday night. Sal's NBL right here, every game live on Sky Sport. We'll see you on Thursday night.